if this goes sideways, financially for my parents, everything that they sacrificed, it's going to go to waste.
You're the only person who cracked 51 seconds. When did you think you had the race won? Let's jump to 2016, around there. I think we all knew you were fast, but did you think you were that fast?
My second year in college, Eddie came up and he said, I don't think you know how good you are, but I think it's good that you don't know how good you are. So I looked at him, I'm like, Eddie, enough with this double meaning stuff. Just tell me.
You're at Rio. Tell me about the day before the race. Tell me about the day of the race in the call room. What's going on?
Okay, the day before the race was actually supposed to be the 100 free final. And I made semis on that, came out third, but had the wrong race plan, was a bit too relaxed and didn't make the final for that one, right? And I came out thinking, wow, that really hurt. I don't know how this fly is gonna go. Come to the next day in the heat, Michael's next to me. And I felt like that was one of the easiest races I'd ever swum. Not even tired at all. And almost to the point where I could dictate what I wanted to do, but not only that, what everyone else does. You know, like they're playing in my sandbox. So I came out of that feeling really good. Qualified first, semis, was about 80-85%, so a lot left in the tank. Still qualified first by over half a second. I'm thinking to myself, is this actually happening? Like, I don't know how it is, but I'm starting to realize that this is my race to lose tomorrow. Fast forward to the next day. The bus ride over was probably the hardest thing that I had to mentally overcome. And I'll tell you why. Can you imagine 10 years of sacrifice, or actually scratch that, a whole lifetime starting from when I was a kid, my parents, everything that was riding on the line, all bunched up into one ball, sitting in your gut on the way to the Olympic final. Like, that was insane. So I felt like I was having these flashbacks right in front of me, and I had to pull myself together. And once I started my warm-up routine, everything just kind of flowed.
So in the bus, you're thinking about all the things you've been through and to bring you to this day. And
I'm thinking, man, if this goes sideways, number one, financially for my parents, everything that they sacrificed, it's going to go to waste. Number two, not only that, I'm straight into NS right now, you know? So all these things like were on my mind that I had to put in a box and put it aside.
what happens in the call room?
In the call room, Chad was doing his funny stuff with Michael, doing like the shadow boxing and everything. And I didn't even realize it. I was just like listening to music, had my hood on, zoning in. And I see Michael looking around. So I have a great deal of respect for Michael. Went up, gave him a fist bump. He looked at me, gave me a fist bump as well. And it just felt like, okay, I'm about to do something really special. Just the moment in itself was special. But it was just like the feel that I got. It was more like, okay, everyone was thinking about how I was going to swim, and that was going to dictate, like they were fighting for second place almost. And once I felt like I had my foot down, there was no way I was going to let up. So, yeah.
So the interesting thing is, even though you qualified your heats first, your semis first, you're the only person who cracked 51 seconds. I checked today, nobody else cracked 51 seconds. You did it twice in that meet. But all that put together, you're still racing Michael Phelps, right? I mean, he's the greatest Olympic athlete of all time, forget about swimmer. So is that play in your mind at all or no?
Actually, I love it. I love it because Michael and I have completely different, like opposite race strategies. So I'm explosive, I got speed, and go out faster than anyone. And naturally, when I was a kid, I was a 200 swimmer, right? 200 fly. And that gave me the base as well, no matter how much I cried doing that race. So I knew that if I'm going to get out faster and come back equally as fast as you, or, you know, if maybe you're a hair in front of me, you're still not going to catch me. And you also have age on that side. You're 10 years younger. This guy, 31, he swum, I don't know, 12, 13 times already at that age. I swum 4 times up to this point. Like, I'm fresh, I'm ready to go. I'm getting better and better as the meet goes on.
When did you think you had the race won?
The last 35. So I touched the wall, I was a bit long, so I had to glide into the wall a little bit. So that took a bit of momentum off, but I remember being underwater and just feel this surge of energy, like go into like hyperdrive and thinking, oh my gosh, like I'm just gonna rip this next 50. I could have kept going and going. And that's when I knew, like, yeah, there's no way. There's no
And
way
you
this can
knew
catch me.
you were ahead.
I knew I was ahead.
Because when you turn, you can see nobody is there.
I have a really bad habit. I like to peek. You shouldn't, but I do.
Okay. When you guys finished the race in Rio and you were walking down the pool deck talking to Michael, right? So what did he say to you? And did you tell him, I don't know how to feel right now?
So we were walking through, and I whispered to him, like, this is awesome. And you've done this 23 times, you know, like, that's crazy. And he's like, yeah, it's pretty cool looking back at it. And he asked me, so you have any plans for tonight? I'm like, no, I got to hop on a flight out the next morning, but I think I'm just going to sleep. I'm really tired. And he looked at me and he smiled. He's like, yeah, you're not going to sleep. You're not going to sleep. And I'm thinking to myself, yeah, I'm going to sleep. But he was right. I didn't sleep at all.
Didn't sleep?
No, I tried to sleep, but I couldn't do it. And I was thinking the entire time, like, okay, what just happened? One, I couldn't believe it. And two, that morning before I flew off, I took a walk by myself to the dining hall, had a bowl of cereal, as I always did every morning, listened to music, watched the sunrise, and I thought to myself, wow, okay, one, this just happened, and two, my life is never going to be the same again. So this is the only time that I had to myself to actually be proud of what I did in that moment. So it was sacred. It was really special, almost like emotional or you know, cathartic.
What's the best compliment or best moment after the race?
Open top bus parade. I didn't want to go for it, to be frank. I can say that now, 7 years later. I didn't want to go for it for one very simple reason. I'm tired and I want to get back to my friends and have some fun. I want to go party, you know? What I did not know was about to happen was all the streets are lined. There were thousands of people. It was a big deal, you know? I'm swimming in Rio thinking people in Singapore don't care about it, right? But to come back to the airport and to that, it's like, okay, it puts things into perspective real fast. And it makes you appreciate what you've actually done. And you need to share this. Just coming back and seeing like how much it meant to everyone, that really put things into perspective for me.